What is up, internet? I know it's been a long time, and I'd like to apologize about that. I got really busy at work, you know, not working, but I'd like to apologize with a short little Donkey Kong video. So just a little backstory here first. The only time I really got to play any Super Nintendo games was at my babysitter's, and it was really only when I was like, good. Not saying that I wasn't like a good kid, I didn't get to play video games as often as I would like. Anyway, back to the Donkey Kong Country story. Do you remember the TV show that was on TV? Obviously, that's where it would be. I think it was Saturday mornings for me, but that's the first place I ever encountered Donkey Kong, and it really blew me and Zach away, that kind of animation at the time. I'm pretty sure I encountered that before we encountered the Super Nintendo because I didn't have one growing up. But let's just say the first time I saw this game is kind of photorealistic along the lines of Mortal Kombat 2, I think is what my babysitter had, and I was completely trash at, but it really sucked me in because before this the only platformers I'd really encountered were Super Mario 1, 2, and 3. So every time I popped this bad boy into my babysitter's house, it really was just like a blast. Although she did have these two granddaughters who wouldn't let me delete their save file, so I literally had to start from scratch every time I visited, which was every day, and I hate them. So I got quite familiar with the early game levels. You know, the ones where you're just bouncing across birds, being shot through barrels. That's every level. But the one you're seeing now is the one that got me every single day. And before you weigh in being like, oh, there's a secret path, I know. But I would spend 7-8 hours a day at my babysitter's house, or, you know, before and after school kind of thing. I had a lot of free time on my hands and I wanted to get it done right. Even as a kid, I've always picked the hardest way possible to do things. So as you watch me probably fall in this video 2 or 3 times, just know that this wasn't footage from when I was a kid. I was literally doing it as an adult, but this game is for kids. Oh, do you want to know another fun story about Donkey Kong? It's about Donkey Kong Country 2, I think. The one where you Dixie and Diddy. Maybe it's not Dixie, I can't remember the name of that. Yeah, it's definitely Dixie. My grandmother, whenever I would go and visit her, she would always have it playing. Not because she was waiting for me to play it, because at the time, you know, the PlayStation 1 was out and Rayman was all the rage, Spyro, you know, demo discs. But because she had been playing it all day prior to me arriving. Like, oh, hey grandma, you could have been, you know, making a roast, walking your dog, hanging out with grandpa, but like, no, that's just not how it works. Clearly, I come from a family that just neglects responsibility for the sake of video games. But you know what? That's okay. That's built me up to who I am today. A happy, mildly healthy 20-something-year-old. I might eventually get around to talking about Donkey Kong 64, but I don't think I personally finished it. I know Zach did, and I know we rented a copy once that was completely finished, and that was sick to see the whole thing, but I did not finish it myself. When I got my N64, I had Ocarina of Time, Pokemon Stadium, and Donkey Kong 64, you know, pod racing, but that one definitely got neglected a whole bunch. For some reason, it just didn't click with me. Like, I wanted to... Just kidding, Ocarina of Time was all exploration. It was all I played all the time as a kid. You will get a video on that. It'll be very extensive, and you won't know what to do with yourself. Because I don't know what to do with myself. If this ever gets back to my babysitter's grandkids, I'd like to apologize for making them sit and watch me play video games for hours and hours and hours. But I also don't apologize just because, you know, I was 4 years old and I really loved video games. You can't take that away from me. I was 4. With that being said, I'd like to apologize for this short episode. I'm working on more at the moment. Hopefully I can get it back up to 1 or 2 videos a week, even though that lasted like 2 weeks. But there is more on the way, so smash that sub button, smash that like button, share with your friends, and as, you know, this first time ever, I'm gonna say deuces.